football program today. I know the ladies will all be excited. So that's right. Would you like to introduce the program?
I will.
Okay. I caught you with your mouth full. Well, take time walking up here. Real slow there.
I'll just stand on here.
Get out of your way.
So I was surprised when I came in because I thought I was introducing Blue Santa, but we get, no offense to anybody in Blue Santa, we get a little bit better, something better today. So it is my pleasure to introduce to you Mr. Alan Metzel, the head football coach and athletic director at Gilmer High School. Obviously a very successful program. I can tell you personally, I have 2 boys in the program, a nephew that graduated and went on to play ball after high school from the program. I think this weekend we had 3 very successful young men that came from the program that had college games that they did phenomenal in. Not that that's a surprise coming out of the program that we have. So if y'all will welcome Mr. Alan Metzel.
I'll brag on Leah. She's about as good as I've ever seen her. I mean, she's extremely talented. She could run the whole show, and I'm not overstating that. So thank you. I appreciate that. You know, here we are today, and I always love getting to talk to you guys here at the Rotary Club. And the main reason I enjoy is because I know you and enjoy you guys. So there you go. There's number one. But then on top of that, you're talking about a service club. You're talking about a group of people who have come together that go and serve the public. You take time out of your job. It's important to you. Your community is important to you. Taking care of people is important to you. Well, that's kind of the job we're in, you know, up here at the school. Our job is to assist parents, families, and so forth in training these young men to go create community. Regardless if it's here in Gilmer or they move off and wherever they go, we're trying to train and you know, I can speak for the guys program and the girls. I know today this is a little bit more focused towards the football and where we are in the season and so forth. But I can't not talk about this element. I can't do that because it's why we do what we do. It's why what we do is important. Now, not everybody is a football fan. Now, most people in East Texas are, but not everyone is. And they can look at me and go, what's the big deal? You know, why do y'all put so much emphasis on a game? You know, it's not life and death. It kind of is, actually, in East Texas, and Gilmer, but especially mine. But yeah, but no, it's the method to teach these life skills. You know, I'll give you an example. I had a college coach text me Sunday night that he has a group and he has one of our former players, and they met Sunday night and they ate, this group of players, and after they finished they do like a little character trait or whatever, and then they broke up and they were heading out, and he texted me, guess who stayed and cleaned up the whole room without anybody ever saying anything? It was one of our players, you know. And knowing the person, I was like, I'm not surprised. I'm not surprised. And I shared that with our team. That's what we're wanting to do. We're wanting to train men to go be difference makers. Don't sit around and expect things to be given to you. Look around and see what the needs are and go do that. And so that's the overarching goal. Now, in the meantime, we got to win football games, okay? And that's part of how we're working to teach them those things. It's the hook. It gets a lot of kids when they're this big, you know, in Gilmer, Texas, and they're wearing their jersey and they're throwing the ball on the side of the street, getting ready on Friday nights to go to the game. You know, it gets them in junior high to go be willing to go through the boot camp and for us to get after them and make them run and all those things. It's the thing that keeps them in high school when it's hard. mean, it's hard. There's a lot of fanfare, there's a lot of fun. You know, you get to, we've got these books over here. By the way, I brought those, you're welcome to take it. And there's posters and there's some magazines over there. The commemorative issue from last season that Farm Bureau did, it has the team on it and so forth. You're welcome to take those. Well, there's a lot of fun. People like, you know, kids like going into your businesses and they walk in and see a poster of them on the wall and stuff. That's a lot of fun. But then there's Tuesday morning, and there's Wednesday afternoon, and there's Thursday mornings run through when it's still dark outside. And, you know, as we push on into winter, it's cold, it's drizzly, and you're still out there. There's a price to pay. And then on top of that, you have all the sub-stories of, you know, everybody has a role. Not everybody gets to be the one that catches the touchdown pass to win the game. You know, not everybody gets to be the quarterback. Not everybody gets to be the one that their name gets called out all the time. Sometimes you're the guy who's running down on kickoffs, and that's your job. That's your job. Sometimes your job is to be on the scout team, which doesn't even get out during the game very often until maybe it's lopsided one way or another. And yet, it's still all important. It's still all worth something. So all these things are what go into a season. We come into this season, I'll kind of start just speaking on some specifics. We have 33 returning lettermen. So last year off of the playoff roster, the team that got to play in Cowboys Stadium, we have 33 guys that got to suit up for that game that are back. That's good. That's good. Now, out of that 33, not all of them were on the field that day as far as a large role or whatever. Some are having to find those roles now, a new role, an expanded role. And so that's part of the early season stuff that we go through. We have 33 seniors. It's the largest senior class that we have had on our team since I've been here, 23 years. I think 2003 football team may have had 31. So, you know, I love that because these guys are sticking in there. They're sticking together. They realize this is about being something that's bigger, being a part of something that's bigger than themselves. So I love that. Having said all those things, we have 5 returning starters on offense. So that means you have 6 that you got to replace. Now, we have guys in these returning lettermen who have played and are very capable, but they haven't had the pressure of being the guy yet, being the one that has to make the catch on 4th down or 3rd down or whatever the case may be. Some of these, we're having to replace 3 of our top 5 linemen. So, you know, we've got guys that are in transition right now. We have on the flip side, we have 7 returners on our starting defense, which has put us a little bit ahead. You know, last year it was kind of the opposite. Our defense was where we were having to grow up a little bit quicker. Offensively, we were a little ahead last year. It's kind of the opposite this year. So those are just giving you some of the details. I'm excited about our size. I'm talking about our girth. You know, we've got some kids who are big. And there's been years, we played 2020 against Carthage, and our tackles were like 6'2", 175, and 6'2", 169, you know, and that was tough playing against some of those 300-pound guys. We've got some bigger guys right now, and that's going to help us as we move forward into the season. So in matching up size-wise, we have good speed. You know, we're coming off of another state championship track team, and we've got some guys who've got the ability to run. Now, having said that, you still got to become a team. That's that X factor. That's the part that is challenging. That's the part, quite frankly, that I love. You know, you can be a team that a lot of schools will be like, well, what's this year's team going to look like? You know, because they're looking at it from a standpoint of, do we have a good, talented group? You know, well, so one year they might be good, the next year they're no good, the next year they're kind of good, the next year they're not very good, and you see this. Well, that, to me, that's not a program. We expect to be here regardless, period. And we're blessed, we have athletes. But it's more than just that. It's coming together as a team. That's the challenge. So you know, back when I first came and Jeff was getting the program going and so forth, you know, one of our first goals was we want to play during Thanksgiving. We want to get 3 rounds in. We want to play at Thanksgiving because, you know, that's when games start mattering and so forth. It took us a few years. It took us till 2003 team to where we got that far into it. Well, we're blessed to be able to say we've done that 17 years in a row. The past 17 years we've gotten to do that, which is a blessing. Well, with that comes higher expectations. It's not just about, oh, can we get to the 3rd round? Can we just get, you know, people in Gilmer, Texas, they want to know, are we going to win it? You know, they just cut to the chase. We're going to win it again this year. Well, I don't know. You know, I got a whole lot of stuff between now and then, though, that we got to get fixed. I'll just tell you that. So one of the ways that we are choosing to go about that process is front-loading our schedules, okay? And so for these first 4 or 5 weeks, they are, they're loaded. All the teams we play, they're really good. You know, Pine Tree last week, we accept the things we messed up on, and we had plenty. But they, you know, this is a team that in 5A last year went to the playoffs. They beat Texas High last year. You know, if we played Texas High, everybody would be going, oh, that was Texas High. Well, they beat Texas High last year. We're not cutting Texas High down. I'm just letting you know, Pine Tree is a formidable team. So we had them. This week we had Chapel Hill, then you have Kilgore, then you have Lindale, then you have a 5A school in Brenham. I mean, there's no letting up. There's no letting up. So, you know, you come off of that, some disappointing things the other night. We didn't do this, we didn't do that. And, I mean, it's obvious. So that's why you play them, is so that you find out what's got to get fixed. Now, to do that, it means that me and the coaching staff, we're going to get hammered on social media, and they're going to be told how stupid they are. And, you know, from last game to this past week, man, we got way stupid. You know, I'm just telling you. You know, it just is part of it. You got to be able to swallow and go, yeah, we're working on it. Now, does that mean that I don't want to win? No, we're trying to win the games, okay? But we understand our margin of error when we play these type teams is reduced down to a very small margin. And you make a mistake here, there, whatever. It could be the difference in what wins and loses a game, you know? And that's kind of what took place the other night. So we get that. However, the goal is to play the long game. It's not getting, if you're running a mile, you got to run 4 laps around that track. It's not getting around one time and going, wait a minute, we're not in first right now. Well, who cares? That's not the point. The point is to be who's up there in 4 laps. So that's the goal, okay? Now, am I promising we're going to go win another one? No, I'm not promising that. What I am telling you is we have a group of guys that are very talented. They're very talented. And we have a group of coaches who are going to work their tails off. And we're going to be real, and we're going to go through, and we're going to examine ourselves, coaches as well. Coaching decisions, how to handle things, how to get guys in the best position, how to get the best 11 on the field. Those are the things we're having to work out now. So that as we get deeper, and then you get to that place where you either win or you go home. You're in your best position to have success. And so that's the goal. That's what we're working on right now. Obviously, we were disappointed Friday night. I can just tell you, I wish we played today to get this bad taste out of my mouth. But, you know, today's another day. We got to win today on the practice field. And then we got to win tomorrow on the practice field. And then have a great run through on Thursday. And then we get an opportunity to go play in Chapel Hill on Friday. So that gives you a little bit of an overview of what we're working on right now, what the season looks like, our overarching purpose, and how we try and go into a season, understanding that the goal is to play 16 weeks. That's the goal. And so we're attempting to do the things that are going to put us in a position to do that and play the long game. So with that, I'll kind of wrap up my talk and ask you if you have questions. I'm sure you have thoughts, whether it was about Friday or about the season or about our personnel or anything. Anything that Randy said he didn't get to yell at the referees the other night. We didn't put him in a position to. So sorry about that, Randy. harder at that next level.
Are you, is Dennis gonna play quarterback?
He will some, he will, first of all, and that's a great question, and I don't mind answering it. He's been injured, okay? He hurt his hamstring in the summer. And so didn't get to play, didn't even get to practice for 3 weeks. That's why he didn't play in the scrimmages and so forth. I don't go talk about that prior to a game, I am now because they can see he didn't play as much. But, when you're coming off of an injury like that, you don't want to just rush that thing back. You turn around and do it again, and now you're just continually setting yourself back. So that had to do with Caden's lack of time on the field.
Another question, have you heard whether if the referee are able to, being able to recruit new people?
Some chapters are doing a better job at that than others. The Tyler chapter has done a pretty good job of getting younger guys into the profession. I can tell you there's other chapters, I'm not going to get in and call their names, I'm talking about a bit outside of just this area, that have had some trouble and they're losing people, and that's what puts everybody in a bind. I know a lot of the Northeast Texas schools, they were calling the Tyler chapter saying, can you come call our games? And they were saying, we can't handle that kind of volume of schools. So that is in the Tyler chapter, who we normally use, they've done pretty well. Some of the surrounding chapters, they're struggling. They are. Any other thoughts or questions? Any questions about this week's game or Chapel? I'll just tell you, they're very talented. They have the running back and the quarterback. This will be their 4th year of starting. These guys have been really good. When they came in as freshmen, Chapel went all the way to round 5, as freshmen, and they started. And then again in their sophomore year. And last year they made it to the state championship game and lost to Anna in the game right before our game. So they return, and they're both really, really talented.
Another question, I was really curious, the 9-3 act like, I think they got, or a player that really got hurt pretty bad the other night. Do you know anything about how?
All I know of, they had some cramp issues, but the coach didn't bring anything up to me, after the game, and I've talked to him since, so he didn't say anything. I'm not aware of that.
But it was just cramping.
The ones I'm aware of are, now, if they had something else, I've not heard that. We had a young man broke his foot, and that hurt us. But I'm going to say, because Russ over here filming.
Friday night?
Yeah. So those things happen. Yes, sir.
How did you find this McCown kid?
Well, his dad, played for Jeff and all them, back in Jacksonville years ago. But they moved into the Gilmer area. They lived not far from the school. And so it wasn't a matter of me finding him. They moved in here.
Happened to show up.
They moved in here in January. Moved here in January. There you go. There you go. But I've known the McCowns for years. I used to do their quarterback camps back in Jacksonville.
Got a great arm.
Yeah. He's a good kid. Any other thoughts or questions? Yes, ma'am.
What about the ladies?
The female program?
Yeah.
Doing really excited about how they're doing right now. We're tweaking our workout format and trying to get them into the weight room a little bit more, even down into the junior high, working our off season. We were able to add another coach at the junior high, Cody Robinson's wife, Stephanie Robinson, who used to be our head softball coach. She stepped down from that once they went to some other places because she has younger children. But she's coaching at the junior high, which gives us 3 now, which gives us another coach there on the campus. So with the influx of kids that we keep increasing, we're trying to make sure that they're getting the amount of attention. I've also got multiple high school female coaches that are going to the junior high to be there during their season and so forth, so that they're getting aligned all the way up from junior high all the way through high school, so it's the same drills, the same terminology, etc. So we're really working to tighten that up as well as we can, and they're doing well right now. We're doing well in cross country. Mandy Simpson's still in charge of that program, and And then volleyball, they're right in the thick of it and should be, should have a really competitive year this year. So I appreciate the question.
This is off key, but who's your softball coach this year?
Kirsten C1, she does the volleyball and the softball. You bet. Yes, Phil?
Can you tell us a little bit about the updated video equipment?
Oh, yeah. Now, I've not watched it because I'm working during that time. But, no, I have a nephew who told me, man, y'all's replay or streaming stuff is just awesome. E-Tex and Charlie Cano, they have really upped the game as far as the streaming goes and now have an instant replay feature. They've improved their graphics. I think they upgraded some of the cameras so the picture's better. They've improved the headset, so the audio is supposed to be better. So I know there's a number of things that they did this off-season that should, they've done a great job, but they are taking it up to another level, which is pretty exciting. It really is. And people watch it all over the country. It really is pretty amazing how far-reaching it is. Pretty excited. Thank you. Good job. Yes,
You
Russ?
still doing the coaches show?
I am. We did it Sunday, and of course yesterday was Labor Day, so I'm sure Eric wasn't up there, but should be coming out either today or tomorrow, I would think. So we did that Sunday afternoon. So usually he works on it on Monday and is able to get it out Monday afternoon. Sometimes things come up and it pushes it a little bit later. So should be a fun season. If there's anything else, just grab me as we finish up here. But great to see you guys. Look forward to a fun year. Appreciate you guys. Appreciate the way y'all serve the community and all the things you do behind the scenes, and the giving of your time and leading the way of what it means to be civic minded. So appreciate that. Thank you guys.